Hi, I'm Sunny from LoreForged, and I'm here to talk to you about Ashes of Creation. If you haven't gone over to LoreForged.com, which is apparently over in that direction, you need to head over there and check out the bonkers amount of content that we're putting out for Ashes of Creation. One of the things that we have been talking about recently is races in Ashes, and there is a particular race that has caught my attention. Since 2000 and, I don't know, 1 or 2000, you know, when I started playing MMOs, you run into the same sort of races all the time. You run into your orcs and your humans and your dwarves, and sometimes you get elves of different kinds. You get a wood elf, you get a high elf, you get things like that, right? It's the same stuff most of the time. This game, on the other hand, Ashes has introduced a few very interesting races. And one of them that caught my attention is absolutely the Nikua. The Nikua sound like a good time. They are a dwarven race, but they are an island race, like islander dwarves, okay? Two tastes that taste great, but maybe not taste great together. We're gonna find out. I'm like fascinated by this. The whole Polynesian flavor of an island race is fascinating to me. It's just a different culture. And then to think about dwarves, which are typically mountain dwelling races, you just, why would they go to an island? That's too much sky, right? Like dwarves feel like they're gonna float off the earth unless they have a mountain over top of them or something like that. And then to think of them being modeled after the Maori with the moai, the giant Easter Island heads, the moai, those are just so culturally interesting and fascinating. The Maori people are spectacular navigators and all of the stuff. I love to play Civilization. Civilization is one of my favorite games, and playing the Maori is just a super good time. Go for the cultural victory on that one, by the way. But then to say that, okay, we're gonna make a dwarven race modeled after this is just, I don't even know how to explain like how this works. So the story is that they are all the dwarves are Dunzinkel dwarves, right? And they split into two sort of faction. You have the Dunyer, which are your dwarvy dwarves. Those are your mountain dwelling, love to mine, you know, no mountain is a bad mountain type of dwarves. And then you have the Nikua, and the Nikua had a gigantic philosophy change. They're like, mountains? We're not in the mountaining business here. Like, there's a line that says, how are they to complete the great hunt from inside a cave? I don't know what that means. I don't know what the great hunt is. I'm still looking into that. But either way, they thought that this was not their destiny to be inside a cave. And so they left. They left the caves and they ended up out on these islands, and they just, you know, as evolution works, you diverge and then you just never come back together. You just keep diverging and keep diverging, and all of a sudden you have these hobbit-ish Maori dwarves that live a reggae island lifestyle, listening to Marley, crafting their moai heads, probably not, but that'd be cool, and just doing all that. And the thought of me running a tavern as a business dwarf, an island business dwarf, like a tiki themed tavern, would just be so fabulous. I can't put words to it. The point of all of this is that they look different. They are different. The women aren't gonna have beards like other dwarves. I've never wanted to play a dwarf. I mean, I've always played female characters, and the idea of like little short squat women with beards was just not in my wheelhouse. But the Maori looking dwarves, the Nikua, are really, really tempting. I don't know if I'd run a female. I might run the male because the males are super cool. You could just see them doing a haka. It is a fantastically creative decision by Intrepid, and I for one salute you on this one. Way to think outside the box with a trope that is, it gets a little tiring, you know, to always have those same old dwarves. Well, these are not your granddad's dwarves, I will tell you that. These are not your Tolkien dwarves. These are island dwarves. So peace, love, and honeybees, and I will see you at the tiki bar.